So the competition is about to start and the guys are lining up behind me, all of the start marshals. Everybody is notified all the way around the lake that D-Day is upon us. It's going to be a big firework, it's going to make a great big bang. And we are opening up from the swim of some guys that have travelled an immensely long way to come and fish here. They've come all the way from New Zealand. How about that? We didn't even know there was carp fishing in New Zealand, but they're over here and it shows what a truly global event the World Carp Classic is. So we're in peg 75 now, and I'd just like to have a look and show you what this peg is like and just how complex this style of fishing can be. So for a start, just have a look down here, just behind me, a cut-off tree stump. Now, this is a man-made reservoir. It was made about 40 years ago, and it used to be a big forest in the area. And what happened was they came in, chopped the trees down, left the stumps, just chopped them at ground level, and over the years, the water has just eroded away the soil around the outside of them. And this, in big continental terms, we call a spider. So it's like a spider sitting on the floor, but it's a tree stump. Now, these are fantastic because they attract lots of crayfish around them, you get mussels on them, there's loads and loads of food, but you can imagine the sort of difficulty that you can get with those on the bottom. It's why decent fish finders and echo sounders are really important. So when you're going over the top, you can find these things and fish by them, but avoid them. But that isn't the only difficulty. We've seen all the way around the lake, there is an awful lot of weed as well. And there's a big bank of dark weed out here in front, going out to about 150 meters. Now, the water is relatively shallow, so as we go out from the bank, mud and problems. It's not a comfortable place to be. Stepping a little bit further forward where the rods are, you see the dirty coloured water. That's very shallow where the wave action has muddied that up, and that's where the tree stumps are. And then you go out into the windy bit, the water colour changes as it drops deeper, but then you've got weed, and the weed is a significant problem. Firstly, you need to find an area that you can present a bait on the bottom, nice and clean, because if it isn't clean and it gets caught in weed, the fish may not pick it up. Secondly, if you do get a bite, you've got to be able to go out and get the fish or bring the fish through the weed as well. And thirdly, with the amount of wind that we've had, the weed breaks off and blows through the lines too. So there are all sorts of problems with this sort of peg. However, with snags and with weed, this is where the fish live. Just have a look at how the rods are pointed in the air as well. They're high up on stands. They're pointed in the air to keep that line out of the way of all the trouble. And you'll also see 3 bank sticks over there. They've got small rings in the top of them, and the line is fed through those rings, once again to keep it out of the way of danger. These guys are also using something called a polyball rig, and it is literally exactly what it says on the tin. It's a polyball that's threaded onto the line, so the lead sinks to the bottom, comes straight up off the bottom to the polyball, which holds the line above the weed and hopefully out of the way of the snags. That will give them precious minutes to be able to jump in, get out over the top and hopefully net their fish. This place is for big boys. It's tough, it's hard, but the rewards are there. With the event now underway and the sun shining once again, the competitors took to the water, got their rigs and baited areas ready, and it wasn't long before the first reports of fish came into the HQ. Well, gents, first fish of the match, got to be pleased with that one from this area as well.
Absolutely, yeah, it's not known as quite a difficult area, so I'm very pleased. Yeah, got here early and set the traps.
Yeah, no, it's done well, I think.
Well, I would have bet against you catching that, I've got to say, because down here it doesn't produce many fish, and a good fish like that early on, that's absolutely fantastic. Talk us through tactics if you can do.
Sort of fishing over about 4 or 5 kilo, so 20 mils. Stuff like that.
Excellent. So big fish, big baits?
Yeah.
Big fish, big baits, yeah, we've gone to the boundary. When we come in, we've seen fish out there. So we thought that'll be where we'll start and work our ways back if we can. Or hopefully hold some fish out there and a few more will come.
fantastic, good effort. Your first time in this event as well, young man.
Yeah.
Realistically, you know, let's be serious about this. That is a very, very good fish, not just for this area, but actually for your score sheet as well. I think last year the smallest fish of the top 3 was slightly smaller than that one, so that's definitely worth it. You know, it's a great start. If there are 2 more of them out there, you're up there.
We're going to try and find them if they're there, definitely.
Just having a little trip around the lake now, and just have a look at this. This shows you what this place can be like. Over there, it looks lovely. Just have a look that way. It looks absolutely horrendous. That's what this place can be like. You know, the other side of the lake, it's got hardly any wind at all. Down here, chucking it down with rain blowing right on our faces. This is what we call hardcore extreme carp fishing, and this is why this event is so good. Just a couple of fish out overnight, and the following morning dawned with good news for some and tales of woe for others.
We've got a big drop off at about 150 meters. There's a big drop off there, 5 to 6 meters deep. We had 2 blistering runs during the night. First one at 2 o'clock this morning was a bream. We had it on 2 boilies. So and 5 o'clock this morning we had a carp. The wind was blowing so bad that we couldn't go out on the boat, and we lost it just on the mussel bit in front of us at 5. So yeah, it was just a learning experience.
Morning time now at the World Carp Classic, and guess what? It is absolutely freezing cold. The coat is on, the wind is chilly, and it's changed direction a little bit, and we're in for a reasonable amount of weather over the next couple of days. The wind's actually picked up, and there have been quite a few fish caught through the course of the night. Nothing in the daylight hours. We saw that fish yesterday for the English boys up on the island, and it was interesting that it came from an area that isn't really favoured. Well, guess what? The opposite side, the area that's known as the dark side, it's a wooded area. Traditionally in the World Carp Classic it doesn't produce too many fish. Well, it has this time. It's also produced a really big one as well, 23.8 kilos for the German team in Peg 87. An absolutely fantastic fish, and that will definitely be one that will count on their upper limit if they get those 3 fish they need to compete for the overall first place. So why are they being caught down there? Well, there's been a bit of a rule change, and this is what's really interesting about the event at the moment. You're allowed to go out in boats to a fixed limit distance. That fixed limit distance has previously been 250 metres, which meant that area wasn't really that good. They've opened it out a bit more now, so you can take the boats out to 300 metres. Now that's had a massive impact. It might only be 50 metres, but it means you can get into the old riverbed, and that seems to be where the fish are at the moment. Now, I've heard of fish coming from 6 metres deep, which is one of the deepest areas of the whole lake, and I've also heard of them coming from 1 metre deep as well. So it's a real spread at the moment. Where are they coming from? Everywhere. The favoured pegs are producing a few, the unfavoured pegs are producing a few. There haven't been a load of fish caught, maybe a dozen in total so far, and the leading swim at the moment is that one everybody wanted, Peg 75. 65 hasn't done anything yet. Peg 75, well, that's produced 2 fish, a 19 kilo fish and a 17 kilo fish, and that puts them well and truly in the lead at the moment. They're the only team to have caught 2. And of course, to win this event, you need 3 fish on that scoreboard. They will come, but so will the weather, and that's going to have a massive impact on how people fish. First thing in the morning now, Peg 48, and we're in one of the Polish teams. This is Jaroslav Ulfig, Witold Smolarz and Mariusz Gregorich. Please forgive me if the pronunciation wasn't exact, and they've got this rather splendid looking mirror carp which puts them towards the top of the table. There are 1 or 2 starting to catch now, and this is a decent looking fish. The fish just on the sling at the moment, and it is 20.1
kilos.
20.1 kilos.
Good guys, well done.
We are very happy because I am the first one in the WCC. Witold is 5 times in WCC. This is a surprise for us.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have a
very
very good place here.
Yes, I think yes. This is good lake because it's many flowers in this water.
This is good.
No sooner had we left the Polish team that we heard the German team in Peg 87 on the island had caught a brace of massive carp, weighing 24.3 and 22.8 kilos. Guys, just one night and 2 fantastic fish. That's a brilliant start for you. You must be happy with that.
Yeah, we're so happy. We're very proud to catch two beautiful big mamas, yeah.
What did you think when you first chose this place? Because it's not got a very good history.
Yeah, many people said it's not a good place to fish here, and we think puddle of mud here. Yeah. We have one small weed bank outside, but it's all the same deep. It's a little bit 20 centimeters from 4 meters 80, 5 meter 20, so a little bit.
What would it mean to win this event? You have two very big fish now. How would you feel if you won?
Einfach wunderbar.
It's unbelievable to catch some or two nice fishes, and it's a dream to come on the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.